Society was about to undergo radical and widespread changes under the post-war Labour government. In 1948, an Erin Bevan's Health Service came into being and large-scale nationalisation took place. There was also a pledge to build well over 1 million council homes nationwide. August 1949 brought eminent Tamworthians to the castle for celebration.
This is the 50th year since Tamworth Castle was dedicated for the use and enjoyment of the people forever.
1949 saw great excitement generated by the coming of a new revolution in communication.
With the Sutton Coldfield television station due to commence its relay service before the end of the year, keen interest has been aroused in Tamworth and districts in recent weeks by the test transmission signals being generated by the BBC's mobile pilot transmitter at Frankley Beaches, Birmingham.
More significant for Tamworth was news of plans that would transform it almost beyond recognition.
Recent moves by the Staffordshire County Council to provide for what are known as overspill populations, which may have some bearing on the future of the borough, have also been under consideration.
With hindsight, something of an understatement.
Tomorrow is Sea Day in Tamworth, Carnival Day again, after a break of 13 years.
The carnival proved as popular as ever and became a regular annual event. Another event was almost as regular, but nowhere near as welcome. The problem would continue to dog the town.
For the third time in 13 years, thousands of pounds worth of damage has been caused by widespread flooding in the Tamworth area. The flood struck during the dark hours of Monday morning. Most people were still asleep when water swept into their homes, ruining furniture and fittings. Why, householders are asking, was no general alarm sounded?
Throughout the 50s, a programme of building new council houses with all mod cons had drastically reduced Tamworth's slum problem. Most of the homes were of excellent quality and have since been bought and improved by their former tenants. Others were not nearly as attractive. These barrack block flats earned the grim nickname Colditz. The austerity of the war years was finally consigned to history when rationing ended in 1954. High employment saw wages rise to 30% above pre-war levels. Falling birth rates meant smaller, more affluent households, and the leisure industry began to boom. Young people found a new confidence that manifested itself in the swinging 60s. These were wild times in Tamworth, and one up-and-coming singer was thrown out of the Stonecross pub after relieving himself against the bar. In 1998 his ban was lifted. October the 20th, 1962 brought another clutch of stars to Tamworth. Among them were Tommy Steele, Harry Fowler, Kenny Lynch, Des O'Connor and England football legend Billy Wright. Meanwhile, major steps in the creation of modern Tamworth and the destruction of much of the old were being taken.
It shows the Tamworth of the future that will cater for a population of 47,000. It is closely linked with overspill plans to receive 7,000 people from Birmingham and with a probable extension of the borough area. One of the first steps in working out the plan was to find a solution to the traffic problem.
The first homes built especially for the new Tammies was at the Lee Fields. The estate officially opened in May 1962 when 556 families from Birmingham moved in. The first of many.
A positive decision by the Ministry of Transport on the widening of Death Trap Silver Street in Tamworth is announced by the Mayor. The narrow street, less than 17 feet wide in parts, presents one of the worst traffic hazards and bottlenecks along the 53-mile-long Birmingham to Nottingham trunk road running through the town centre. Another important feature, said the Mayor, was the demolition of the old Lichfield Street area slums to make way for the Riverside Development Scheme. The first phase of the scheme, comprising 3 15-storey flats and 1 3-storey block, garages and 4 shops, was now with the Ministry of Housing and Local Government for approval. A 200,000 population was one of the figures in a feasibility study being made by planning experts of Staffordshire County Council. The leader of Tamworth's Labour Control Borough Council said, "We are pleased that Tamworth is thought to have the potential for a big town. It is praise for the council and for its officers." It takes a bit of recognising at first, but this is where the Bell Inn stood. Shall we still call it the Bell Corner? Future generations will wonder why. Demolition of the 120-year-old Bowl Hall Mill in Tamworth Town Centre brought nostalgic memories among long-serving weavers. The mill buildings on the south side of George Street have fallen victim to progress after being used for the manufacture of tapes and webbing for more than 100 years.
The Spring Festival of 1975 was marked by Henry VIII, alias Harold Reed, sailing down the River Anchor. The backdrop for the festival was undergoing a dramatic transformation.
Tamworth has been given a double boost for its £4 million Anchorside shopping development, now taking shape. The inclusion of Boots as a second large store is good news to Tamworth Council, who are anxious to encourage traders to the town. Phase 1 of the development is programmed to open in mid-1979. The whole of the first phase is likely to mean a real employment boom for the town, with an estimated 350 jobs needed for the development.
As Anchorside took shape, the future of some older features of Tamworth was in doubt.
One of Tamworth's oldest companies looks set to go out of business with the loss of 180 jobs. Fabric manufacturers E.B. Hamill & Son of Bowlbridge Street this week announced a massive upheaval in its operation, and a union spokesman warned, "This looks like the end of the road." The Bowlbridge Junction is the vital hub of the £11.25 million ring road scheme designed to take the pressure off Tamworth's notoriously congested town centre. Without the Bowlbridge Egg there could be no ring road. It is expected that the roadworks will be finished by the end of the year, more than 6 months ahead of time. After that, the only work remaining to be done will be the demolition of the old Bowl Bridge and the realigning of the River Anchor.
"1981 brought about a change in attitudes on Tamworth Council.
Enough is enough. This was the shock message from Tamworth to Birmingham this week as the town sensationally tore up its overspill contract with the city. The controversial move comes in the face of a spiralling housing waiting list in Tamworth. As Tamworth enters 1984, some of its least attractive buildings face the demolition man's hammer, not least among them the infamous Bowlbridge Street flats. The Masonettes head the chopping list, ending a long-running debate on their future. Tories are now preparing plans to bring the flats crashing to the ground before selling the site for development, hopefully as a major hotel and leisure complex. Mayor of Tamworth, Councillor Peter Knowles, is looking forward to an exciting new decade for the town, in which he sees extensive recreational and leisure development taking a leading role. Reflecting on the 1980s in Tamworth, he describes the last 10 years as a period of consolidation, following the rapid expansion experienced in the 1970s. In the 1990s, the town certainly has an exciting period ahead of it, especially in the area of recreation.
Plans for another new leisure development were causing heated debate.
Tamworth Civic Society has unveiled an artist's impression of how it thinks a £4 million sports and ski complex will look if it is built on 1.5 acres of the town's castle grounds. The group's chairman, Ken Forrest, stressed that the Civic Society was not against the proposal in principle, only the location.
Tamworth eventually got its snow dome.
Months of waiting paid off at the weekend when the wraps finally came off the snow dome, dubbed Tamworth's own Mini Alps. With a year's building behind them, as well as some of the worst winter weather they'd encountered, the Leemore Group threw open the doors to Europe's first indoor real snow ski slope.
While the arguments surrounding the snow dome's construction raged, other plans that would have a major impact were unveiled.
This plan, produced for the Herald this week, shows how the long-awaited A5 bypass will look. The scheme, which will take traffic away from Faisley, Wilnecote and Two Gates, is now out to tender, and it is expected that a contract for the work will be awarded early next year.
But it was the end of the road for one long-standing resident of Two Gates.
Over the last 60 years, both the motor manufacturer, famous for its three-wheeler car, and the town have seen many changes. Nearly everyone in the town knows or knew someone who worked at the plant.
At the end of this momentous century, Tamworth's population stood at around 80,000, and its transformation was set to continue.